So I usually will go across the back into the arm. So we're going to work the arm next. So what I like to do, you can work the arm from here. There's nothing wrong with working the arm from here. My personal preference is to take the arm and move it. And again, with relaxation massage, in my view, what we're trying to do is keep them from moving as little as possible. So I want to try to make it where I'm doing most of the movements for them, so they don't feel like they have to move for me. So again, and if you forget what to do, just remember Effleurage, Petrissage. Effleurage is always a good way to go. But I'll start off doing Effleurage the arm, just to warm the area up. When working the limbs, my viewpoint is always work proximal, then distal. So the point is that we work the upper part of the arms, and I think about clearing the arms. So we're working up, we're getting the blood flow going, we're pushing through, getting the lymph moving, and we're going towards the body. And you're always pushing toward, we try to always push towards the heart. It doesn't necessarily have to always push towards the heart, but it's a good way to go. But I always make sure that I start and finish going towards the heart. And start off doing, and you can do a variety of different Petrissages here. You can do just one-handed, alternating hands. You can just do one-handed. You can start doing a one-handed Petrissage from here. My personal favorite is to do two-handed Petrissage. Just lifting and pulling. Now when I do that, I'm using my whole body. So I'm shifting my weight from one leg to the other. So I'm shifting my weight in, and I let my hand follow my hips, and I'm moving. And again, some people feel kind of silly going back and forth. I find it works well, especially since it doesn't wear my hands out near as much. And you go back to Effleurage. Sometimes when I'm doing this, depends how much work they need, or if they need deeper pressure. Again, I'll do a soft fist up the arm, or alternating soft fist. And how far up you can go? You can go all the way back up to the shoulders if you want a long stroke. You can go up from here to the deltoid, from the tricep to the deltoid. A little bit shorter stroke. You can stop and pay attention to the deltoid up here. These middle fibers and anterior fibers. You can even come up to the front. In her case, it's kind of tight. So she probably needs some more work. So get on that. You can even iron if you want to. You can move your arm. What I like to do is I'll push across and then come up. So I'll come across the tricep, pushing the tricep forward, and then I'll push it up towards the body. And basically from here, you don't want to, again, it just depends on how much work you need. So a lot of times you don't have if you're doing a 50-minute massage, you don't have a lot of time to do when you're doing a full body 50-minute massage, you don't have a lot of time just to spend on the arms. So I try to get what I need to get. Every time I'm doing my Effleurage, I am, again, sensing with my fingers any knots that need to be addressed, anything else, any tightness. And then what I like to do is I will swoop down, pick up the arm for her, so my hand's on the back of her hand, and I place her arm here, and I'll start working the forearm. So we work the arm, we're working the forearm. And what we're going to do is work arm, forearm, down to the hand. And it doesn't need a lot of cream, just enough for glide. So what I'm doing is I'm using the in between my thumb and my finger to do this. I like doing this, but again, when I'm doing it, I'm lining everything up. Notice my elbow's not out. I'm lining everything up. I find this works well, particularly around the forearm. Just remember that all the tendons for the fingers run up the arm. So when I press down, it's going to cause her fingers to move. So you're actually making them to move, getting her fingers to move. If you're doing this with a client and it's their first massage, you may want to warn them. What you'll do sometimes is you'll start working up in here in the forearm, and all of a sudden they'll try to straighten their fingers out. They're not realizing that you are manipulating their fingers. So sometimes I just let them know that I'm the one doing this, and they usually laugh about it because they're not sure what was going on. They just know their hands moving and they're not doing it. And so in here, I also strip the muscles along in here to see. A lot of people that work, type, work in offices, a lot of repetitive stress, injuries going on. People work a lot with their hands. They generally are tight. So in her case, she has a knot right here. So I'll do a stop and pay attention to it a little bit. Keep moving on. Different types of effleurage, petrissage. And again, if you want to, you could even use your elbow. You just want to be careful with your pressure. We're getting the smaller muscles, smaller bones. We don't want to create a whole lot of pressure where it hurt them. Sometimes they do. Most of the time you don't. I find a lot of times too, the more they work with their hands, or the more they start complaining about having pain shooting down their arm, that in this area right here is really good to start working to relieve a lot of that. So you spend a little bit of time. If you need to spend, it just depends again what they're looking for. If they complain about their arms, I spend a lot more time on it. If they're not, I try to go through. It's hard to say. So again, soft fist. I really like this towards the end. So when I'm working on an arm, I take into account. So again, if they're complaining a lot about it, I'll spend a lot more time. If not, then I'll come across, I'll try to get a knot or two if there's a lot, just because I have a lot more of the body to work on, and then I'll keep moving on. So I'm transitioning into the hands. Now what I like to do, and this is just something I picked up along the way, I like to use these two fingers. I'll put this in between the thumb and the index finger. This is between the index finger and the middle finger, between the middle finger and ring finger, and then the pinky finger. And so what it does is this allows me to massage more with my thumbs, and I got two sets of thumbs, one on each side, and I have control, and I can even stretch the hand out if I need to, which I find generally clients like, but I usually go in between each of the metacarpals, paying very special attention to the thumb pad and the pad on the other side there. And again, I'll spend some time doing that. If you can't see with this hand, I am rubbing on here and getting in between these metacarpals. With this other hand, I'm doing the exact opposite, where I'm going on the thumb pad, getting in between the other metacarpals. And again, don't need to spend a ton of time unless you just need a lot of work. People work with their hands will need more than others. If you work in the offices, they tend to too. And once I'm comfortable with that, what I like to do next is I'll take my fingers and I'll just pull their thumbs, just pull out. It's kind of like I'm stretching. So next, what I'd like to do when I'm finished up with this is just go across the whole arm again, just to get everything going back towards the heart.